Justin Monger is CEO of Locked Brands. Justin, welcome to the pitch. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jim. I will tell you, I dry ran this and it came out at 6 minutes and 15 seconds. So
Go for it.
I'm going to do my best to keep it right there. Okay, let me fire this up. Hi, I'm Justin Monger. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Locked Brands. We're the developers of the Stash Can. We take smart technology, integrate it with modern design to produce cutting-edge personal lockbox systems. And right now we have a regulation crowdfund running on WeFunder, as well as a sidecar Reg D for accredited investors. Now there's an old adage that I heard in college, and I hear it even today. It's your stash and you want to keep it that way. And that's why we developed the world's most advanced personal lockbox system for cannabis and pharmaceuticals. And when I say pharmaceuticals, I mean also cannabis-derived pharmaceuticals, not just cannabis products, okay? So what I want to do now is jump right into a quick video to give you an idea of what the Stash Can is.
Let's face it, smoking weed has changed. Like, no one even calls it weed anymore. It's cannabis. And now it's being legalized throughout the US and all over the world. It's time to declare weed all grown up. Shouldn't the way you store your weed, cannabis, grow up too? Introducing Stash Can. You can unlock your Stash Can in one of two ways. First, it will only open up with your voice and your voice only. The second method to open the Stash Can is with the free iOS Android app. Whether standing right next to it or opening the Stash Can while you're on vacation on the other side of the world, you can share access with a friend through the app. Here are some fun facts about the Stash Can. It stands at 4 inches by 6 inches and is powered by a standard 5-volt micro USB charger. It has a built-in battery with a life of up to 6 hours, an RGB light ring that lets you control the color and pattern, and can remember up to 5 networks. Voice activated, app controlled, 100% 420 friendly. 100% cannabis friendly. Stash Can, the smart way to stash your stash.
All right, so what we've done here is taken a single technology and used it to tackle two seemingly disparate problems. The first problem, of course, is just keeping your stash secure. That's the Stash Can. It's app controlled, it's voice activated, it's smell proof, it's airtight, it's a personal lockbox. It also features access sharing as well as logging, so you know anytime it's been opened, who opened it, and when they opened it. Now there's a second problem out there, and that's where our Gen 2 device comes in. Oh, I'm sorry, let me back up a second. We launched the Stash Can this last February, right about 2 weeks before the pandemic. Not exactly what you call the best timing, but in that time, during the pandemic, we now have 60 authorized retail shops online in the US, Canada, and Mexico, brick and mortar stores carrying our Stash Cans. So we're pretty happy with that. It's considered, all things considered with the pandemic. Now for our Gen 2 device, we're tackling the problem that's associated with opioids and prescription drug abuse, in particular, the Secure Med Manager. It's in development now and we have a prototype. What we did was we changed the form factor, expanded the same underlying technology that's there in the Stash Can, and did it in a way so you can not only secure your possessions, in this case, pharmaceuticals, but it can also help you manage them. So it's very, very handy for addressing the opioid and prescription drug abuse problem in this country. And let me just play one more video for you, get you an idea about this.
Have you or a loved one been impacted by the opioid and prescription drug abuse problem in this country? Would you like to help save lives by preventing addiction in the first place? The Secure Med Manager from Locked Brands tackles the addiction problem head-on. It is a secure portable device that ensures only the patient gets the meds. It guarantees the meds are only available per the doctor's prescription. And it generates a compliance record and stores it in the cloud. It is always connected to the cloud, and if tampered with or broken into, shuts down and notifies the healthcare team. Now, for a lab demonstration of the SMM prototype. The pill pack is being automatically fed into the compartment. When complete and at the appropriate dispensing time per the doctor's prescription, the compartment can be opened when the button is pressed by the patient with the matching fingerprint. At Locked Brands, we're dedicated to saving lives by preventing addiction in the first place.
Okay, so there you have the two fundamental products, the single technology that we're applying to these two problems. So now the important thing is who's behind it to make this happen. We've got a great idea. Who's there to make it happen? Well, my investors and advisors and my board, I want to talk about some of these guys who are so critical to our success. Number one is Dr. Narmi. He's an emergency room doctor. He's an entrepreneur. He's an investor, very early on investor in the company. He's also an opioid addiction expert. Then there's Jeff Mahoney, a self-made man, built his own company as the chief architect and CEO of SaveDaily.com. That is a $300 million a year company now that Jeff has somebody else running while he handles multiple other companies. Then I have Brian Waters also on my board. He's a bank CEO that is brought in when banks have a problem. He comes in, fixes a bank, gets it back on its feet, and goes off to the next bank to fix. Then I've got Brian Greer. He's an investor both in the seed and the angel round. He's a former president of Honeywell Asia. He retired last June and has been really involved in helping us figure out how to get out of China, get our manufacturing out of China. Then we have Brian Esposito. He's the founder and CEO of Intellectual Enterprises, Esposito Intellectual Enterprises, and he is our enterprise-wide.
5-minute warning.
Okay. Then I've got Dave Plissold, who is a lawyer, and he is our FDA compliance. He's at a company in Washington, D.C. that specializes in risk assessment for the FDA. So now the question is, why invest in Locked Brands? The responsible storage aspect is not going away. That problem is just getting bigger and bigger. The total addressable market just for the stash can is over 20 million. The product's out there in production now. It's on the market. It's got features that nobody else have at a very competitive price point. Between myself and 3 of my most senior guys, we've got 120 years of experience, and we've raised over $1 million to date for the company. Okay, in terms of the business model, the Gen 2 Secure Med Manager has a hardware business model by selling the hardware. It also has a SaaS subscription business model, software as a service, as well as once we get a couple 100,000 subscribers, there's an enormous amount of value to the compliance data that is stored in the cloud about people taking their meds. And then, of course, we've got the IP protection in place for our technology.
Thank you, Justin.
Yeah.
We'll end on this slide here. Judges, do you have any questions for Justin? Justin, while we're waiting for a question, you want to just quickly walk us through that slide?
Sure, would love to. This is our regulation crowdfunding, a convertible note offering. This is a summary of it that's all out there on the WeFunder site. We're looking to raise the maximum, which is $1,070,000, 8% annual rate, 7% valuation cap, 15% discount, 18-month option with an extension for another 6 months after that. The minimum investment being a regulation crowdfund is relatively low. It's about $250. We also on the side have a Reg D that we can stand up within 24 hours for anybody that comes in as an accredited investor with 25,000 or more.
Excellent. Investor judges?
Very, very interesting, Justin. I particularly started really perking up when you mentioned the opioid addiction solution and just the dispensing of the medicine. It kind of hits me close to home. Not that I'm, my wife worked as a nurse at an opioid addiction clinic where they have 400 patients standing outside every day. And on Fridays, they have to issue their meds for the weekends.
Right.
This is a great solution for things like that, to where you can be able to monitor how much they're getting. And so I saw that as being really great. There's more than one of those clinics here in Las Vegas. They're just all over the place.
Well,
So
imagine if I could add to that. My guess is within 5 years, if you go to a pharmacist and you get a controlled substance prescription, something like opioids, Ambien, Adderall, it's going to be in a device with this kind of technology in it. This is very low cost, $10 to $15 a month subscription fee. That's where we're headed. This is the dispensing medium of the future.
What are you seeing as, any challenges of having that? Is there any challenges with the FDA or anything like that with having a device like this?
Great question. That's why that lawyer that's an investor and advisor, we vetted our FDA registration process with him. We do not have to have an FDA approval. Thank God, that's complicated. We have a 501k exempt class 1, which is the second simplest thing you can possibly do with the FDA. Not that anything is simple with the FDA, but it's the second simplest thing you can do.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Justin, from our chat room, we have a question. A couple of folks seem to think that there are other similar products that are available. how do you compete and win against other technologies that may be available?
Yeah, that's a great question. And there are some competitors out there. One of the key things though is there's one competitor that's a little bit ahead of us, and they dispense a single pill. It's about the size of a pack of cigarettes, and we've got that featured. You can see it in our investor pack on the WeFunder site. They put out one kind of pill. What we dispense is a thing here called pill packs. This is basically a roll of pills on perforations between each one of them, so you can have multiple controlled substances dispensed from our machine. The bottom line is the 20 million American vets that have chronic pain, the vast majority of them don't take just an opioid as a controlled substance. They're taking Ambien, they're taking antidepressants, they're taking anti-anxiety pills. And the only way you can do that is in a pill pack form, and we're the only one doing pill packs.
And what's it made from? Can it be broken into with a screwdriver? Another question from our chat room.
Great question. That's this guy right here. And you can see, there is no doubt that you could pick it up and take a buzzsaw to it and get it open. The thing about it is it's always connected to the cloud. Okay, and as soon as it's got tamper sensors in it, it shuts down, notifies the cloud, and the most they're going to get is whatever supply of pills is in it. So the way it would work for the VA, for example, for all the vets with chronic pain is every month they go back to the VA or back to their pharmacy. Pharmacy loads up a 30-day supply of opioids in this dispenser for them, and they take it away. 30 days later, they come back and exchange it.
Wonderful. For a company that seems like they've thought of everything, you've got 45 seconds. Is there anything else you'd like this audience to know about you and your opportunity?
Well, yeah, I guess didn't talk too much about the stash can. We're out there we're on Amazon, we're on our own website, direct to consumer, and we're also on Sharper Image. Sharper Image has just suddenly, they've given us a couple POs here in the last couple of weeks. They are suddenly jumping out of their seats to get the stash can. So that was great news.
Yeah, it is. And it looks like another company has brought a robust group for an active chat. A lot of fans over there. So
right.
Congratulations, Justin. Well done. Very much appreciate it. Look forward to seeing what the judges think.
Sure thing. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.